My name is Jordan Williams, and I am a student at KU from Coffeyville, Kansas. This question is meant for Senator Obama and Senator Clinton. Whenever I read an editorial about one of you, the author never fails to mention the issue of race or gender, respectively. Either one is not authentically black enough, or the other is not satisfactorily feminine. How will you address these critics and their charges if one or both of you should end up on the Democratic ticket in 08?
Senator Obama, how do you address those who say you're not authentically black enough? Hey, well, not my question. Jordan's question.
You know, when I'm catching a cab in Manhattan in the past, I think I've given my credentials. But let me go to the broader issue here, and that is that race permeates our society. It is still a critical problem, but I do believe in the core decency of the American people, and I think they want to get beyond some of our racial divisions. Unfortunately, we've had a White House that hasn't invested in the kinds of steps that have to be done to overcome the legacy of slavery and Jim Crow in this country. And as President of the United States, my commitment on issues like education, my commitment on issues like health care, is to close the disparities and the gaps, because that's what's really going to solve the race problem in this country. If people feel like they've got a fair shake, if children feel as if the fact that they have a different surname or they've got a different skin color is not going to impede their dreams, then I am absolutely confident that we're going to be able to move forward on the challenges that we face as a country.
Senator Clinton, you have a minute as well, since this question is to you.
Well, I couldn't run as anything other than a woman. I am proud to be running as a woman, and I'm excited that I may be able finally to break that hardest of all glass ceilings. But obviously I'm not running because I'm a woman. I'm running because I think I'm the most qualified and experienced person to hit the ground running in January 2009. And I trust the American people to make a decision that is not about me or my gender or about Barack or his race or about Bill and his ethnicity, but about what is best for you and your family. We have big challenges and big needs in our country, and I think we're going to need experienced and strong leadership in order to start handling all of the problems that we have here at home and around the world. And when I'm inaugurated, I think it's going to send a great message to a lot of little girls and boys around the world.
Senator Edwards. Senator Edwards, earlier this week, your wife said that you would be a better advocate for women than Senator Clinton. Was she right?
Well, let me say first that on the question that was just asked to Senator Obama.
I prefer you stay on the question if you
I'm
could.
going to stay on your question. I promise I'll answer that question. But first thing I want to say, and I want to speak for everybody, I believe on this stage, anybody who's considering not voting for Senator Obama because he's black or for Senator Clinton because she's a woman, I don't want their vote. I don't want them voting for me. I think what Elizabeth was saying was, to answer your question, what Elizabeth was saying was there are very important issues facing women in this country. More women are affected by the minimum wage than men are affected by the minimum wage. I've been the most aggressive. In fact, I would challenge every Democrat on this stage today to commit to raising the minimum wage to $9.50 an hour by the year 2012. Second, there are more women in poverty than men in poverty. And I have made this a central cause in my life and a central cause in my campaign. More women have difficulty getting the health care that they need than men do. And I was the first person to come out with a comprehensive, truly universal health care plan.
So do you believe you're a better advocate for women than Senator Clinton?
Those are issues. Listen, Senator Clinton has a long history of speaking out on behalf of women. She deserves to be commended for that. But I believe that on the issues that directly affects women's lives, I have the strongest, boldest ideas and can bring about the change that needs to be brought.
Senator Clinton, is he a better advocate for women?
Well, Anderson, I have a great deal of admiration for Elizabeth Edwards, and I appreciate greatly John's comments. You know, I've spent my entire life advocating for women. I went to Beijing in 1995 and said that women's rights are human rights, and I've done everything I can to make that principle come true. And specifically on issues, I got to vote to raise the minimum wage. I put in legislation which said that Congress should not get a salary increase until they did raise the minimum wage, and I'm putting that back in because I agree that by the time we got it raised after 10 years, it was already out of date. And as to women in poverty and women with health care needs, I have been on the forefront of both advocating and creating change in my public service and my time in Arkansas, the White House, and now in the Senate. But I think it is terrific we're up here arguing about who's going to be better for women, because isn't that a nice change for everybody to hear?
Our next